Good morning, it's Barbara. I'm going outside. It's bright and sunny and waiting for Pete and Terry to come. It's cleaning day. Good morning, it's Barbara. Best laid plans. As I walked out here to start my vlog, Pete and Terry pulled up. So they're upstairs working in Aura's room. They start in her sitting room and then she sits in her bedroom till they're done, and then she's in her clean sitting room, all settled in for the rest of their stay. Meanwhile, I'm going to do my vlog out here and do my yoga. And they will still be upstairs when I'm done with that, and I might putter a little bit. I did not do what I was supposed to do on the table, so the table's covered with stuff, and I'll just tell them my project is here, so don't worry about it. They have so many places that they're scheduled to clean that they can't clean, like the dining room. They'll be able to clean the dining room come December because I do plan on clearing that table. But after the November cleaning, so I'm gonna have to clean the dining room myself, which is fair if I would just keep the table clear and the room clear, not just me. There's a lot of Dennis's stuff. He doesn't have enough room to spread out his winemaking stuff. And yeah. And we use that dining room table so rarely that it ends up, oh well. But I was very careful after Christmas dinner to wash that tablecloth and put it back on the table, because otherwise, you worry about the table getting scratched and everything. So the tablecloth under the stuff is clean. So that's already taken care of. Good morning. So, yesterday, I didn't end up knitting at all yesterday, and I thought I would be knitting, but I didn't. I had my crafting with Christy, but I didn't craft. I just sat and talked. We hadn't talked in quite a while, and I just sat and talked, and so, that was okay. I can take a day off knitting and not feel guilty, right? My sleeves, I'm working on my sleeves. Oh, and while I was straightening up for Pete and Terry, I found my gauge swatch that I did out of my teal colored yarn. So if worse comes to worse, I'm gonna have enough for a couple stripes on my hood from my gauge swatch. It's like a little tiny stash of the color. It's really not so chilly out here that I need my hat, but you can tell from the state of my hair that I need my hat. Hat hair will be better than my bed head looked. Meanwhile, yeah. So yesterday, I have no idea. Oh, we went out and about. We went to a couple of stores. You guys are going to think I'm such a lush, but I have a cocktail that I really like, which is the simplest cocktail. Hendrick's Gin has a limited edition version of their gin. These gins have gotten really interesting and lots of different botanicals in them, and so they have all kinds of different tastes. And I like Hendrick's Gin. I like a Hendrick's Martini, but they do limited editions of different flavors. Well, a limited edition flavor that's in the Pennsylvania stores right now is called Grand Cabaret. It's got a purple label if you're looking for it. It is so delicious. Just equal parts Grand Cabaret and lemon juice, and sweetened up, shaken up, and drunk in a cute little glass. And it is such a lovely cocktail. So since it's a limited edition, we went to the store to buy a few of them. Dennis had gone out to the State Store website and thinking maybe he could order some, and you couldn't order them like from the main state store, you know, system, but it did tell you where some of these state stores were around that had these bottles, and so that's what we did. We went to the state store right next to our giant supermarket. So Dennis went in and bought, because he needs brandy because he's making port. So he had to go shopping for his brandy, and he knew what I wanted. So he was in the state store buying gin and brandy, and I was in the grocery store buying organic hot dogs and horseradish and bath and shower gel, you know, that kind of thing. So we ran that errand, and then Dennis went to his health food store and got a few things that he needed. And there you go. So we were running around a little bit, and when we got home, it was time to walk the dogs, so we walked the dogs. So anyway, the day a little bit got away from me without, you know, and I normally have been knitting later in the evening, but for some reason I didn't knit. I'm not sure why. I don't think I don't feel like there's sort of an impediment to my knitting in terms of I have to do something, you know, figure something out. I don't. I'm at a place where I'm just following the pattern on the sleeves, so it's fine. But I just didn't feel like knitting, and it's okay. It doesn't sound like okay, right? So I've been spending 6 minutes explaining why I didn't feel like knitting. Does it sound like I feel like it's okay? No. It's okay. Meanwhile, and then so last night, Christy and I had a nice conversation, and that was fun. She wasn't stitching, but she was doing something with her patterns on her computer. But I was just talking. I was just sitting there talking. Hey, Maisie girl. I know. Pete and Terry are here. The dogs were on the porch with me. They were locked out for a while, weren't you? Till Pete and Terry settle in and get upstairs. We block the steps so dogs can't go up and annoy them. But so you're out here with me. Okay, it's okay. Can you hear me patting my dog? She likes it. She's a big girl, right, pup? Are you a big girl? Are you a big girl? Yes, you are. Yes, she is. Oops, I'm sorry. Oh no. Oh no. Earthquake. So today, the before vlog was spent straightening up. And it's a miracle to me that it only takes a little while to straighten up in anticipation of them coming. In my old life, before Dennis and before, I don't know if there's a change in me or if it's just a change because Dennis is around. He's been around for 30 something years now. But my house is not nearly as messy. I mean, it's cluttery because we are a cluttery kind of couple. But it's not messy like it was when the kids were little. They grew up in a mess. And like when my parents were coming to visit, I had to straighten my house for weeks and weeks. Well, that's an exaggeration. A week, but like really work hard. It was so stressful when my parents visited because I lived in such a mess. Yeah. I really don't want my daughter and daughter-in-law to stress like that when I come to visit. It's okay. I get it. If you're messy, I get it. My daughter-in-law, I think she really worries about what I think about her, but I love her dearly, and it makes me sad that she worries. I don't think Christy worries too much. I think she's fine. But, yeah. And I understand it, you know. Anyway, it's amazing to me that we can straighten up the house in a half an hour and have it ready for Pete and Terry. So, which means that if I, you know, spent 2 minutes before I went to bed, I wouldn't have to straighten up at all when they come once a month. I had a friend whose mother-in-law said, the way to keep your house straight is to put away 7 things before you go to bed. I bet that works. I bet that works. Meanwhile, still pondering. Oh, I never put the name of that hat I never put the link to that hat below yesterday. I apologize for that. The sweater I was talking about is called Pressed Flowers, and apparently they have a hat and they have a cowl. And I thought that cowl was very intriguing because I do love a cowl. I do love, I get cold around my neck, which is why I have shawls and cowls. But lately, I've been very into the whole cowl concept where you don't have to fuss and zhuzh. And this cowl looked very interesting to me. So I'm going to take a look at that and see if that might be something. See, you can tell I have not settled on an Advent project at all. I am going to do this investor, but I don't want to put the pressure on me to think of it. To me, like an Advent project, you kind of like to make a little progress every day and show what the yarn you got yesterday looked like, that kind of thing. The hat would be an excellent way to do that. But the pressed flowers, the flower is a DK project, and I have a DK Advent. I won't be shocked if I don't come up with an answer to what I'm doing with my Advents until like December 8th. Once I've accumulated a few of the yarns and have a way to look at them, my trilogy yarn Advent is Razzle Dazzle, so it's going to be sparkly, and I have to keep that in mind too in terms of what I'm going to do. And a sparkly section of a hat would work really well. So I don't know. So that's a 20-gram skeins. Those are 20-gram skeins by Razzle Dazzle. And then Megan and Sweet Sparrow are 10-gram minis. So that would give me a variation in the size of my stripes if I were to just knit the whole thing, which I wouldn't be necessarily inclined to do. Anyway, so the hat is still intriguing to me because it's also very mindless knitting. So I might save my DK Advent for a pressed flowers cowl, but not necessarily knit during the Advent season. How about that? How does that sound? I can see myself wearing that hat because the hat is a hat and a scarf combination, and it's basically a hat. This is my Musselburgh hat, one of my Musselburgh hats. I think this is the one that I made for Aura. I have inherited back all my things I knitted for her. And my mom. So it's just a hat like this. I think it's got ribbing and, it's not double layered like a Musselburgh is. But you just keep knitting it, and you just keep knitting it, and you just keep knitting it. This, it doesn't go in here. It just... And you keep knitting it for yards. And then what you have, you wrap around your neck. And so you have I've seen hat scarves where you did a hat and then there's like a scarf that hangs out and you wrap it around. It's almost like a bonnet. This is not like a bonnet. This is like, this hat just keeps going. It seems a little Dr. Seuss-ish, which is very fun for me. I mean, Dr. Seuss. Anything that reminds me of Dr. Seuss makes me smile, and I'm all for that. My sister-in-law, Kim, has she and her husband decorate like crazy at Christmas time. They have a very tall ceiling, and they get a huge tall tree, and it takes them weeks to decorate the tree. She has Dickens Village that she puts up. It's very extensive. She usually starts in October. So I don't know. She hasn't talked about starting that, so I imagine they are not doing that this year. But anyway, they always had a second tree in their basement, and it was as if the tree, it was like a really Charlie Brown tree in that it wasn't very full, but it also hung upside down. And I was the coolest looking thing hanging from their basement ceiling. And I always thought it looked so very Dr. Seuss. I really love that tree. And yeah, anything Dr. Seuss. So that hat seems very Dr. Seussy to me. I mean, he would have that hat on a character for sure. I guess I'm leaning toward the hat. Doesn't it sound like I am? Very mindless knitting, just round and round stockinette. Change colors whenever you want to. Carol's had some big panels of color, like she used the whole mini, and then others, you know, and you can use stripes, and you can, you know, and it seemed like something that you could alternate. Regular yarn with sparkly yarn would be perfect. So I am leaning toward that hat, and I will try to remember to put a link to that hat, because of course I didn't remember the name of it. Put a link to that hat below today. I will try that. And in fact, I'll bring it up I'll buy it. Although it might be free. It might even be free. And to be honest with you, take one look at it and you can figure it out yourself. All you need to do is make sure you get the right size around your head, which you can do with any hat pattern you have. But I think it's free. If it's not free, I'm going to buy it, because I don't want to take the idea and not pay for the idea. So don't get me wrong. But I'm going to buy it or download it. And I have to do that I keep pointing over here because that's where my laptop is, just beyond that window. I have to do it on my laptop because my phone isn't connected to my printer. And I will try to remember to do that today and show it to you tomorrow, because the more I talk about it, the more I think I'm leaning towards that big hat with the big long scarf and just knit for a month. And I suspect I will be very close, if not completely done, with my Montrealer by the time that starts. So that mindless knitting has a lot of appeal for me. But I do want to make sure that I save, well, and I'm going to have a lot of, I have 3 different fingering advents. So I'm going to have a lot of choices, because I also do want to do my Sylvester. So, but not in an Advent time frame. I'm not making, you know, so just to be clear. You don't even care. I go on and on. OMG. So, today I'm sitting out here because when Pete and Terry come downstairs, the dogs will stay out here with me. So I'll be outside longer than usual on these days, but I'm quite comfortable sitting out here. As long as I'm getting sun, it'll be good. And I brought my Coorien, Coorie, next word in, I-N, by Amy Polka, something like that. I have it here in case I get chilly, because this is my go-to throw it on these days. Ugh. Thank you so much, Marianne. My friend Marianne gave me the pattern for this, and I love, love, love it. Love, love, love it. This is John Arbin, knit by numbers, color by numbers, knit by numbers. I forget the number of this pretty yarn, but I bought that from the Woolly Thistle many years ago, and this is the perfect pattern for it. So if I get chilly, I'm all set. I have my phone, I'll do my yoga, and I can be inside for a little while till Pete and Terry are done upstairs, if I want to be. So that's what's going on today. I think we're going to have leftovers, because we had picanha last night Dennis made, and I made shrimp salad, and we have egg salad, and he made coleslaw. So we have a lot of things. We're going to have sort of small dish dinner, lots of different things, plus green salad, and yeah, it's going to be good. So it's a little breezy out here. I think it's time to take the umbrellas into the garage or something before they fade too much. Yeah. Okay. They're blowing around, that's why it's reminding me, because it is a little breezy. So, yeah, it'll be nice to have the house clean. It's always a little stressful when other people are coming and the dogs get very excited. But it'll be nice to have the house clean. This is a gift from Aura, which we really, really appreciate. Okay, so meanwhile, back at the ranch, I'm done here. I've given Leslie plenty of time to spin. Leslie from the Not Quite Enough Yarn podcast spins during my vlog every day, and so. What do you do while I ramble on? Besides talk back to me, I know you do that too. Many of you do. Marianne, Danielle, I'm talking to you guys. Plus others. All right, I gotta go. I gotta do my yoga and get you uploaded. Meanwhile, please take good care of yourselves. I hope everyone is feeling well and things are going better for everyone in treatment and recovering. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe and stay sane.